Hello, this is David Birch at Star Path School of Navigation in Seattle with a audio update report on Jacob Adoram's position as he's rowing to Cairns. And we have the Google Earth set up, and there's links in here about that. Here's his progress today. He's actually moving along real well. Notice that he went, and I'll put in the blog post in the audio, he went around Tamana, very interesting island of Tamana, and I have some notes on that. He was coming in this way. I think it's logical to go over. This is only 5 or 6 miles here. This is about 2.5 miles long. He went around it this way, which makes sense. Looks like beautiful white beaches, but there's actually coral along here. And so I think he didn't, and the wind's going this way, and so he didn't want to risk getting anything weird happening, getting brushed up against this coral on here. So he went around that leeward side of it. So he's well around that. Again, here's a day's run. I don't even see the red dot yet. So he's got making good progress. And so this is the Google Earth. We have added, let's just look at a couple things here. The ASCAT, we've updated that. So there's that pass didn't get near him, but this is about the same wind here. This is like a nominal 10 knots here going down to 5, so it's light. This pass, I think, did go by. And again, there's a very good gradient here. The green to blue is right at 15. So this is above 15, that's below 15. So he's going into an area, a little bit lighter wind. And notice this data is from a data set March 2nd on the 17Z. 17Z is actually 18Z right now, right this moment as I talk. So this sheet was updated an hour ago. This sheet will always be within an hour. It's updated every hour. But what's critical is you go to the bottom of it and you read this time down here, which is about 10 o'clock. So that's 10 o'clock. This is 17, so that's on the same day. So this is about 7 hours ago. That's the way you figure that out. It's about 7 hours ago, this data here. We don't see, let's see if I look at the currents. The Oscar currents are updated. Let's look at this. There's a sort of interesting effect here. Remember the N key makes things go straight. Oh, they are straight. Wait a minute. Now that my thing is connected. So this is the Oscar currents. Let's see, what date is this? Oscar. No, that's Artoff's. That's Artoff's. Now again, Artoff's is forecasted for several days. So when I put the update here, I didn't put today's date. I put I put it a few days, a couple days in advance. But Artoff shows a really nice strong current, that he's in a nice, strong, favorable current. And you can, again, how that works is you look at that, then turn on the scale, then you can bring this down, and you see you're looking at 1.5, 1 over 1, well over 1, 1 1/4, 1.5 knots of current, according to the Artoff's model. Now, if you go to Oscar, on the other hand, the latest Oscar is today, which is an average of the past 8 days, and it doesn't show that current at all. In fact, it shows it going the other way. So that's what we live with, trying to figure that out. But he's making such good progress that I would guess the current is not against him. See, this current here is still, if I turn on the scale, see, this is like, very light to, in this area, 0.5, 0.7 against him, according to that. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, I'll turn off the ASCAT. The other thing new that's here is this. We added waves. So you can go down here now and look at the sea state. And this is the total wave height and direction, and scales over here. So that's something to look at. It's in sort of moderate seas here. That's 1 to 1.5. This is 1.5 meters. This is 1 meter. So really moderate seas, actually going kind of in his direction in this area. And then if you look at the periods of the sea, that's that kind of, whoops, let me get rid of that scale. The period is that light green. This is like 11, 12. So these are swells, right? These aren't really wind waves at all. These are more or less swells in here that he's got with it, going more or less with him. So that's new there. Then I'll just take a quick look at the weather forecast. So the way that we do that, whoops, I zoomed here. The way that we do that is pretty automated. I come in here, we click this button, and there, get his position. Then I can highlight that, copy that. Now what we do is then go to LuckGrib, turn on Emerson. That's the name of his vessel. Then I go back here, add data, and I can just Command V. Just push that in there and enter. That's how slick that works. You didn't see 2 lines of text because I didn't scroll it, but there were actually 2 lines of text there. And so that put in a new position for him. So that's down here now. So that is, let's see, where is this? Here's right now. Yeah, so here's his present position we just put in right here. So then what we can do is go to the FV3 GFS, update that file. Let's see. Now that's a big file. Okay, so I update that. Okay, now here's the trick that we do. You could just go along here. Here's his route. This is the position of his boat according to down here. Each one of these is 24 hours ahead, assuming 1.5 knots. And then I can do this. I can just watch the boat go down and watch the weather around him. Right? That's one way to do it. Okay. The other way is to turn on the vessel Emerson. Now I can take a meteogram. So look, I click that. Oh, it's all kind of big here. I click that meteogram, and now that's showing me the pressure, the wind speed and direction, the rainfall, and so forth. And this is then, it takes into account the motion of his boat. And this is the sort of thing we actually send him every couple of days. And here's something I'm going to write an article about. The pressure is oscillating here, and you expect it to oscillate in the tropics. But then it stops oscillating. And I have to show the pressure has not stopped oscillating. It just looks like it has because of it's an anomaly of the way the data is presented, how frequently the data is presented. So there's his situation, and sure enough, you see his wind is out of the east, kind of backs around here a little bit, but more or less uneventful for the next few days, which is always good news. So that's the end of that report. Oh, let me just see while we're here. Let me just zoom out and see if there's anything else going on in that part of the world. See, these are now days in advance. This is now way beyond what we can really believe. But you see, there's really nothing much going on, except indeed he's getting down there. If you look here, back to here, these are 400 miles apart. That was 2,400. There's, well, wait a minute, 4, 8, 12, 1,600 miles. So he's really trucking along. So that's the end of the report for now. And I'll put I'll put a link to the text write-up on this, and there it has a picture of that island as he went by it.